James Gunn just might be done. Paramount ready to bounce him right out of there and leaving DC? Maybe. And what if we told you partly it's because Supergirl is headed for mega flop territory, and the trailer, along with its big star, both major train wrecks. It's a great day, folks. Thank you for coming our way. Every time you decide to click on one of these videos, it's an attitude of gratitude from everybody here on the Pro Channel. As we dive in today, consider clicking that like button. And if you would be so kind as to hit the subscribe, well, we would love to have you on our team, where we believe in the truth with a capital T. The Supergirl movie is turning into a total train wreck, and now people are asking, is James Gunn truly done? We've got some stuff we're going to talk about in here that you may not have heard before. The final trailer is out, and if we look at this, it's more of what we've seen mostly, except for we get old Corn Sweat. Corn Sweat's back. Superman. He's back, and he's looking angelic, looking at him, and she says these lines in here basically about how he sees everything. Hopefully, I see the truth. And we get more shots of the injured dog, right? And but this is just not looking good whatsoever. It feels like to us, now they're using Superman and the dog to try to get you to buy, well, there you go, tickets.
Well, is Flop Sweat really going to sell more tickets?
That's harsh. We like Corn Sweat. He can't help what's happening to him. You call him Flop Sweat? Really? That's funny.
I mean, he didn't sell enough tickets to his original Superman movie.
Right.
So
I'm with you.
So why would his extended appearances, which they reshot a substantial portion of this film to add more of him in it?
Now, culture, just so people understand, we're not speaking from a place of bias.
No.
In front of Congress, it was stated in front of Congress. How does this happen? But in front of Congress, it was stated that Superman needed $700 million, and it got $6. Mm-hmm. Now, Supergirl, to your point, is looking much, can I say much again? Worse than that. Let's go now to the story. We've got it out of Dark Horizon. Supergirl tracking for soft box office start. DC Studios' Supergirl film opens in a month, and early box office projections paint an uncertain picture. Okay, that's an interesting way to put this. Box office theory, Sean out there, reports that the earliest projections for the title suggest the film will open somewhere between 47 million and 65 million domestically. That is half or worse than Superman. So let's just play that out. Let's just say that if it's half or worse than Superman, then the worldwide total would also be half or worse. I'm gonna think it's worse. Guys, I think Supergirl is going to come in under $300 million worldwide.
Whoa.
And it's talking about it's close to the likes of the Marvels and Black Adam.
Wow.
And it's getting so bad now that you've got these kinds of articles coming out. Hollywood Handle, Supergirl has a budget of $175 million. The film needs $315 to break even. That is ludicrously bad. But I want to show everybody something. Normies have caught on. And kudos to Valiant Renegade for making this happen. His coverage has just made this impossible for them to do it anymore. They still try to, but look at this. Follow the Bradley's fun. No, that's not how break even works. Well done. Cinema Hub. This has to be a typo by Deadline because according to Hollywood Reporter, Mandalorian Grogu cost $165 million and needs $500 to $600 to break even. Not bad, Cinema Hub.
Wow.
CJ, say you don't know how budgets work without saying you don't know how budgets work.
CJ.
The bottom line here is they can't get away with this anymore. Everybody knows the trick. It's over. But it's really over when it comes to these numbers. If it's going to perform at half the level of Superman,
man,
I think James Gunn is done. And there's something that we've been holding on to for a long time I'm going to talk about in just a minute. But first, I want to go to the panel and ask you guys about it. Culture, starting with you, your thoughts on Supergirl heading for half of Superman, and that's just not something that DC can afford at all.
Well, they couldn't afford this little adventure to begin with. And again, James Gunn turned them down for the DC job originally. It was only his pal Peter Safran joining in as a team effort for him to say, okay, we'll give this a try. He's talked about it in interviews that maybe he won't be doing, the head of the studio, but he'll still be part of projects for DC in the future. I'm not sure if he's trying to indicate that maybe new leadership would be coming in with new ownership, which is definitely on the horizon here. And that deal looks to close at the end of July, to be fair. So they could actually get some of that wrapped up, but we'll see. I mean, it officially wouldn't happen until the end of the third quarter, which would be well beyond that. Different conversation. But they can't afford for this film to do this poorly, and yet all I have to do is point out the author of the material, which is Tom King, the worst comic book writer and CIA agent ever. And so I think it's going to be interesting to see this earn half of what Superman earned, because the derivative character of Supergirl relies so heavily upon her cousin, and we're not really going to get the benefit of that interaction anymore. Not to mention the marketing has been terrible. And this chick is Rachel Zeglered the heck out of this film. I don't know if Wiz agrees with me or not, but I think that the marketing has just destroyed the movie, which is not how you do things.
Let me toss Wiz a little extra here. We are very careful to always treat our sources well, and I'm not going to say anywhere close to what we could. But I'm going to say that we've been sitting on something that I think is going to get major attention one day. And we may not be the first to talk about it because we're being very careful. And there might be some people out there watching right now who are listening to me, and they're saying, "Thank you, Pro." Or they're saying, "Boy, I hope he doesn't say what he could say that we told him." But whatever the case may be, I'm going to be very careful. Wiz, we've been sitting for a long time hearing that there is major unrest with Millie Alcock that precedes her making the Christian dad comment that was just utterly stupid. But that behind the scenes, maybe James Gunn is the only one fighting for her, and that it may have been very unfortunate in the eyes of the studio that he signed her to another movie, and that she is a real problem. And I cannot go beyond. I can just tell you that I bet you that if people at Warner Brothers are listening right now, if people at DC are listening right now, they're saying, boy, is she a problem. So Wiz, they're stuck with her, and it's not going to get better.
No, it's not going to get better. When you look at somebody like Superman, the character Superman, and when you look at the character of Supergirl, these are two that need to resonate with virtually everybody. Right? Superman needs to resonate with everybody. Supergirl needs to resonate with everybody. It's not just little kids. It's not just grandparents. It's everybody of all generations, of all genders, all walks of life should be able to look at these two characters, the Superman and Supergirl, and be like, they are ideals of hope. And we don't have that in this DC universe. David Corenswet is trying his best with garbage writing. Millie Alcock is not trying at all. She is not attempting at all to bridge the gaps to make this Supergirl movie feel welcoming to not only everybody but anybody. Right? This is not a movie for anyone. It is. I couldn't even say it's for the people that made it, because sometimes you could say, well, they made it for themselves. You know, sometimes when we don't like things, like, for instance, with Superman, we say with Superman, oh, well, James Gunn made a Superman for himself. This Supergirl movie isn't for anyone. There is nothing in this that seems remotely interesting. If we weren't seeing it because we cover these things, but also we provide honesty to it, like, we're going to see this. And it looks terrible, but I might walk out and say it was great. And if it is, I'll defend it. And I'll say, I was wrong. This movie's great. I've said the same thing with Master of the Universe, same thing with Toy Story. I don't have high expectations with these movies. But if they're great, I'll tell you they're great. This looks awful. But families are done. Kids don't care. The goal of the DCU was supposed to be introducing DC characters to Gen Alpha. Gen Alpha is not in the know of culture like millennials and Gen Z were, okay? There's been a gap. The COVID gap changed everything. You know, Gen Alpha doesn't know James Bond. That's why Amazon made a $200 million video game. Gen Alpha doesn't really have a connection to Superman because it's been a long time since Superman has been in the cultural zeitgeist. That's what the Superman movie 2025 was supposed to do. That is what Supergirl right now is supposed to be doing. It is failing colossally to do that. And when it bombs at the box office, which it definitely will, there's no one else to blame but the people involved. Is it just James Gunn? Probably not. I think it's everybody. I think it's the corporate executives. It's the marketers who allowed all of this to happen. It's the journalists who allowed Millie Alcock to say that it's the Christian dads it's okay if we upset the Christian dads. It's the writers who thought that this writing was going to be a good idea, and it's also the content creator shills out there that are going to run defense for this when it does tank and they start moving the goalpost, or as they are right now, saying that, oh, well, it's okay because the budget on this thing is so low. It's one of the cheapest. It's the cheapest superhero movie yet, right? That's what they're going to be saying.
When did we just hear that, Wiz? What was the movie that just had that narrative?
Star Wars, Mandalorian, Grogu. And I'm really glad you brought up the fact that the work that we've all been doing and the work that our friend Valiant Renegade has been doing, to his credit, because he's the one breaking down some of these numbers too, it is changing the game. They cannot hide behind the numbers because we're holding them accountable for their fake numbers. It's beautiful. It can't just be us. It has to be you two at home. Like you two at home, when you see these things online, leave them a comment. They're using the wrong numbers. They're literally misleading you. And I think it's up to us. If we keep calling them out, they can't handle it. They're buckling under the pressure. Look at Star Wars shills right now. They cannot handle it. They're literally not even posting anymore because they've been backed into the corner so bad, they don't know what to do. Mandalorian and Grogu is failing so bad, the Disney shills have gone silent. This is incredible. What a time.
What a time. Lauren, I think I know where they're going to go next. And this is going to be a hot take. You ready for a hot take?
Go ahead.
Get ready for the hot potato, okay? The spud's on the way. Is that 6-7? I don't know. Lauren? I think they're going to stop reporting box office numbers at some point. I think the big ones are going to say, this is too damaging. We need to get away from this. We need to not make this public anymore. And I don't know how they're going to do it, but I can tell you it's not necessary. There's no law that requires it. And I would not be surprised if this goes away in the next 3 years.
I don't think it helps because they still need to report those numbers to the advertisers. That's ultimately that's going to be an issue because once it goes to streaming, that's how they're going to justify where they're going to put it, what the licensing costs are going to be. They're going to want to know how popular was this movie. But
it's the last thing, Lauren. They've tried to hide Rotten Tomatoes. They've tried to change it to the point people don't believe anything that it says. This is like the last step in the strategy to completely remove the ability to track what's popular and what's not.
I don't think it matters. They can try and say that something is popular, but people know what is popular. What's popular is what you're talking to your friends about, the things that make you excited and that you try to urge them to go to a theater to see. If something is not popular, you're also going to be talking about it. You're going to tell them, no, this was a dog turd. Don't go see it. Don't support it. You trust your friends and the people whose taste you trust. You don't trust the people that are trying to sell you the thing. That's like trusting your car salesman when he tells me, trust me, I got a great deal for you. And I would also say, when this thing fails, and by the way, the only thing about the Supergirl trailer that I think it convinced me of is that they would have been better off making a Lobo movie. Once this James Gunn era does fail, they're going to have to restart again. And they're going to have to figure out Superman again, but I'm going to help them along. I know what they need to do.
They need to sell tickets.
Well.
Yes.
Would you look at that? I like it. I like it.
It's really tight.
It really is.
Yeah.
The shoulders are not broad enough, though. I know Wiz in real life. He's got broad shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, they should
guy.
be, because that's an actual
Squared.
photo of him.
That's an actual photo?
Yeah.
Wait, go back to it. Hang on. Is this real? No, wait. We've done so much AI now. That's not real.
You want to see the source?
That's a good photo.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll go with it then.
Real quick.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Culture.
To your point about not reporting the box office numbers.
Yeah.
How are they going to get around like the requirements for like publicly traded, entities?
They'll disclose. You've seen how Disney does it. You hide it inside a broader ledger.
Well, and that's a problem that they've been getting called out regularly by investors.
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
I don't care. Has it changed them?
Well, they lost. I think they went under 100 today on their stock price.
They've been there. They've been there. They don't care. They've been in the same place for 15 years, despite inflation. They don't care.
I just want to point out, there's the original source.
Also, not right. The shoulders are wrong.
That's
You're right.
That's an unaltered image.
It's clearly AI.
Yeah.
That's an actual image.
Clearly.
If I put my hands on the desk, it looks different.
Can you put your hands on the desk? I don't even know that you can.
Well, no, my actual
Whoa.
desk, not the desk in the image.
Wow, his hands are huge. It's Shaquille O'Neal in a wizard suit. Boy, we have completely went off the rails now, ladies and gentlemen. But did you have a good time? We had a good time. I'm inclined to ask you to let us know your thoughts on all of this. Of course, is Millie Alcock going to be around much longer? Is James Gunn done? We'd love to hear from you. You know, we really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell. And drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.